one of my first studies was just to see, I used one indicator of the strength of civil society to see if it is associated with changes in corruption over time, and found that it was only really positively associated with reductions in corruption if certain other conditions were in place in a country. So a free press, government transparency, or political competition. So in some sense, it's good news. On the other hand, you can say that if a country already has a free press, government transparency, and political competition, civil society can maybe help nudge you in a positive direction, but it also doesn't really indicate that civil society single-handedly is a magic solution to reducing corruption. Fortunately, I would say, the field of research is sufficiently mature now that I think whichever researcher you ask that question of is going to give you a different answer. But that's, I think, a very positive sign. It means that there's enough research going on, and there are different frontiers. There might, maybe 10 years ago, you could say that there was one main frontier, and now there's research being done on, for example, in this research program, Anticorp, research being done on organized crime and how that might prevent countries from advancing their anti-corruption agenda, might even lead to backsliding, which I would say that you've seen in countries in South America, but in particular in Mexico, for example. And I think that those are very important questions to ask. And now we're starting to understand a little bit about how not only which institutional arrangements and social forces and economic developments might help to bring countries to lower levels of corruption, but also maybe which forces prevent that kind of development. But I would say that research on those areas is still in its infancy, that we need a great deal more to try to understand what the factors are, which actors have a stake in maintaining corruption, and why it is so incredibly difficult to move from higher levels of corruption to lower levels of corruption. But I think that there are some interesting new results that are sort of exploring, for example, the role of organized crime and that sort of thing.